Hey, welcome back. I am Erika Bell. I am a home organizer. Thanks for being here. We are going to discuss some home organizing supply swaps that you can do today. So a little bit of swap this for that, buy this, not that, that type of video. Along with, I'm going to give you some whys as to, why you want to do that. Let's get into it. All right. The first one is the bulletin board for your artwork. Your kids' artwork, your pets' artwork, whatever. We're going to swap that. Why? Because it constantly looks cluttered. It looks like, I think I had one of those with all the different pictures and all the different cool stuff. And I was, maybe in elementary school, middle school. We just don't need that as like a home decor piece. Like, it's one thing if you want to put that in your kids' rooms or playrooms or something like that. But honestly, the swap I'm going to give you is going to be the black changeable frames. They look so much more put together. They look clean. They look nice in your home, but then it can still, put your kids' artwork on display. So again, not again, but per usual, I will link to all of this stuff that I talk about. You are going to swap out those plastic bins without the lids, okay? We're going to ditch these because often you can't stack them. They kind of create a look of clutter. Now, you may be thinking, well, I've got a cube system that these work in, that some of these plastic containers work in. If that is still working for you, you do you. By all means, continue with that. In a lot of cases, I think this was such a big trend that a lot of people were kind of forcing that into their homes. And if you've seen some of my videos, you know that I would rather create systems that work for your family versus buying something and then making it work within your stuff, right? So I would rather you get something that is like tailor made to your family that actually makes sense versus buying these open containers and then just placing them where you think it's going to be logical and trying to make it work. In some situations, I can't get comfortable. In some situations, I like them. Okay. I'm not going to lie. Have them in my kids' room, my kids' playroom. It's working okay. I was going to say I really like it, but I actually don't. I want to redo their stuff. So in some situations, can work totally fine, is totally appropriate. But other times, let me give you some alternatives, okay? You could do a stackable storage bin with a lid. Sometimes it's really nice. Again, sometimes this is not going to work. Like, figure out what's going to work in the right space, right? You can't buy one type of container, one type of bin that's going to carry throughout your entire home. It won't make sense, right? So you probably, for a kid's toy room, you're not going to use a lot of stackable bins, because then kids have to take those off to get to one. So that's not going to make sense. So just take some of this, pick and choose the areas that you're thinking about either getting new stuff for, or the stuff that you want to replace, or the spot that you're currently organizing, and then plug in some of these things into those spaces. Another alternative to those plastic bins without lids would be a clear container with lids. Okay. Again, the lid won't always work, but the clear container is nice when you want to see everything. Sometimes that's good in a laundry room, that you don't have to get to everything all the time, but you need those specific things sometimes, easy to see, easy to handle. Maybe a pantry for those things that, again, you don't need to get to everything all the time, but you can see it when you need it. Or, the clear containers in a pantry are sometimes nice. They don't visually, it doesn't hide any of the clutter, right? It doesn't hide any of the things, but everyone in your family can see what you got in there. Another alternative would be collapsible storage bins. Anything that can collapse when you're not using it, it's just very efficient for storing, for making the most out of your space. So that is another alternative. All right, the next one I fall guilty to. It is the wire baskets. Why are we going to ditch these? Because they look cluttered. Things are hanging out the side of them. They don't stack well. You know, you know. I think I have, what do I have in mind right now? I used to have cars in mind for the kids, and then I had balls and stuff. You can see right into it. It's giving a little more farmhouse vibe than I need in my home. They're not the most practical thing. Maybe you could put some cookbooks in them, or I don't know. Anyways, what do you want to change it with, right? What do we want to swap it for? Let me tell you. Let's swap it for some kind of woven or fabric basket. These are sturdier, provide a more like cohesive look because you're kind of hiding everything, right? Like with the wire baskets, you can see into it. It's hard to kind of visually give your eye a break. With the fabric ones, the woven ones, you can get a solid color, whatever you want, and that's what the eye goes to. It's kind of more calming in your space. Okay, the next one. This isn't so much a swap, but just a don't buy, okay? A fancy label maker. I know. You're going to look at me and say, but Erika, you're an organizer. How do you not suggest that we have a fancy label maker? What it leads to is over labeling. I have seen this so often. The over labeling, the over organizing, the hyper organizing. It's like when you get a new toy, you want to use it on everything, right? So it just, I think, leads to things not end up being visually like appealing. And sometimes it just gives, it may give you a headache, or the people that live with you, it may give them a headache, right? Instead, one thing you can do is print labels from your own computer. Another, find the specific thing you want to label and then buy a label that's perfect for that, right? You'll have the exact size you need. Because one thing about label makers, some of them you can only get certain sizes. So you're really kind of trying to make it fit when maybe your label maker only does small things and you need a big old label. So you can always order ones. Think of like the dry erase ones. You can order some, either dry erase or chalk, and then you can reuse them, which is really, really great. Okay, you're going to swap out single use storage containers that are really specific, right? You're only using them for pens. They're only good for paper clips, whatever, for multi-use pieces. This is going to last longer. You're going to be able to get more bang for your buck when you inevitably change up your system that you're using those specific things for. You may not be able to have them carry into another space. So if you get like a multi-purpose organizing container, it'll just last longer. It'll work better throughout your home. All right, the last one, something I see with so many of my clients is difficulty with laundry, right? And myself included. Like I've got a stack of laundry I need to put away right now. It's already enough on its own, right? All right, so these oversized, these large laundry bins, unfortunately, even if they look nice, they may lead to overfilling, and then you procrastinate doing the laundry, and then it's overwhelming to do the laundry. So instead of having these beautiful bins, if you're the type of person that washes your laundry when it fills up, this is going to really kind of lead to failure, or it's going to lead to frustration, I should say. It's going to lead to frustration because you fill it up and then you go to do the laundry and it's a couple loads, right? And then it takes longer to put away. If you have smaller, more manageable bins, it prompts you to regularly do the laundry. So swap it for a smaller laundry bin. Or I will give you this. If you're like, I have to have these laundry bins, these are the ones I love, but they're still frustrating you, I would suggest then doing the laundry before it gets full to the brim. You either give yourself 1 day a week, 2 days a week, whatever is reasonable for you or your family, and you do it then versus letting it pile up and waiting until that happens. Okay. You'll be regularly upkeeping your laundry, your dirties, putting away the clean stuff will be easier because you won't have as much. Just a better system. Let me know if you want me to do more videos like this, the swap this for that, buy this, not that type of video. All right. I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks for being here.